Good evening, everyone. So, my next topic of general pharmacology, which I'm going to discuss with you, is bioavailability. In the chapter absorption, I'm going to discuss with you bioavailability. Now, what is bioavailability? US FDA, its definition is the rate at which the extent to which the active concentration of the drug is available at the desired site of action. Means when we take the drug, it reaches the GIT and then it is absorbed from there. Now, how much is available to the site of action, that is in the systemic circulation, how much it is available after getting absorbed and after first pass metabolism, how much it is absorbed, which reaches the site of action, the how much concentration reaches the site of action, that is bioavailability. And anatomically, physiologically, and pathological states influence the bioavailability. Anatomical means what is the particle size of the drug. Physiological condition, what is the gastric emptying time, what is the GI motility of the person, what are the pharmacogenomic parameters of the person. And pathological, if any disease is there, like congestive heart failure, any disease of GIT, like Crohn's disease, and any hepatic diseases there, that can influence the bioavailability of the person. Bioavailability means if we give the drug 500 milligram and it reaches the systemic circulation at the site of action 50 milligram, then bioavailability will be 10%, which how much of the drug after taking from the oral or from the intravenous route, how much it reaches the systemic circulation, that is the bioavailability. And it is important. Drug with low safety margin. Low safety margin means which have the narrow safety margin, means the difference between the minimum toxic concentration, and minimum effective concentration is very low, means they have a fine line of the effective response, therapeutic response line. If we increase the dose a bit, the toxic concentration will be reached, and if we decrease the dose a bit, then subtherapeutic concentration will be reached. Means the narrow margin of safety is there, and in those cases we need to know the bioavailability of the drug, like the digoxin, and where the specific plasma levels are necessary. Means we have to do the therapeutic drug monitoring, like in drugs which follow the zero order kinetics or saturation kinetics, like a bit increase or decrease in dose can lead to toxicity or subtherapeutic response, in which therapeutic drug monitoring is very effective. That should be done, like oral hypoglycemic agents, like hypoglycemia can occur if we increase the dose. Anticoagulants bleeding can occur, oral anticoagulants bleeding can occur if we increase the dose. So in which therapeutic drug monitoring is required. In those cases, bioavailability is very much needed. In oral anti-epileptics also. Now this is the concentration time graph. This is the minimum toxic concentration reached. This is the minimum effective concentration. This is the area under the curve of the intravenous. How we have to measure the bioavailability means concentration, plasma concentration is given in microgram per deciliter, and time is given in minutes or hours. And we see the area under the curve of the intravenous the route. It will be almost 100%. This route, it rises, the plasma levels rises abruptly, and then slowly it decrease, the levels get decreased. This is the area under the curve of the intravenous administration. This is the area under the curve of the oral administration. So we have to see the oral area under the curve of oral divided by area under the curve of intravenous. We can calculate the area under the curve by various methods, by calculating the area by multiplying the squares of the graph. Area under the curve of the oral dose and area under the curve of the IV dose into 100% is the bioavailability percent, and it is 100% in intravenous, and in IM injection it is 75 to 100%, and in transdermal patch it is 80 to 100%. bioavailability. The factors influencing bioavailability will be after oral ingestion will be first pass metabolism. If drug is taken in, it reaches the GIT. And then it reaches the stomach, it reaches the small intestine. From the small intestine, it goes to the liver, the drug. And in the liver, it gets metabolized, and this is known as the first pass metabolism. After metabolism, with the drug which is available to the systemic circulation, that is the bioavailability of the drug. So if the first pass metabolism will be more, so availability, bioavailability will be less. This is also known as the pre-systemic elimination. First pass metabolism is also known as pre-systemic elimination. That is elimination of the drug before entering the systemic circulation. So drugs, it reaches the small intestine, it reaches the portal vein, then liver, then systemic circulation. Drugs are partly metabolized in the liver, causing loss of bioavailability. This phenomenon is called hepatic first pass. 80% of the drug is subjected to pre-systemic circulation. When in case of the basic drugs like morphine, lignocaine, 80% of them have been metabolized in the liver. The first pass metabolism is 80%. So bioavailability is very less of these drugs like morphine and lignocaine. The next is instability of the drug. Some drugs, they get unstable in the gastric pH. They get destroyed in the GAT enzymes, or they get ingested by the gastrointestinal enzymes like proteases, or they are pumped out from the GI epithelium. Some drugs, so instability of the drugs can lead to decreased bioavailability. Aminoglycosides and antibiotics like gentamicin, they can be decreased, they can be destroyed by GIT enzymes. Insulin can be destroyed by GIT enzyme. Penicillin G, unstable in gastric pH. Now, these are the factors affecting bioavailability. First of all, route of administration. Intravenous is the fastest route of administration, which is having the best or the most for full bioavailability. That is 100% intravenous. Particle sizes, if there will be low particle size, more absorption will be there, more bioavailability will be there. Better absorption means better bioavailability. Absorption better, better bioavailability. Plasma protein binding is how much of the drug is bound to the proteins in the present in the body, like albumin and alpha-1 acid glycoprotein. Acidic drugs bind to albumin and basic drugs bind to alpha-1 acid glycoprotein. If there are more plasma protein bound, so there will be less free concentration of the drug. So less bioavailability means more plasma protein binding means less bioavailability, because less free drug will be available to be effective to produce the therapeutic response in the body. Distribution means if there will be more distribution to the tissues, if there will be more distribution to tissues like fat, adipose tissue, skeletal muscles, or liver, and other tissues of the body, so less will be the bioavailability. Rate of metabolism is more will be the rate of metabolism, that is in the first pass metabolism it will be more, so bioavailability will be less. And first pass metabolism in the liver, if it will be more, the bioavailability will be less. Enterohepatic circulation is when the enterohepatic circulation will be more, the bioavailability will be less. Excretion, if more excretion is there of the drug, more elimination of the drug is there, bioavailability will be less, because less will be absorbed from the GIT and less will be the bioavailability. Elimination is more. All processes of pharmacokinetics, these are the factors responsible for affecting the bioavailability. Now, two formulations are there. They contain the same amount of drug. They are known as chemical equivalent. These two formulations are there. The chemical ingredient present in them is same. The amount is same of the chemical ingredient present in them. They are known as to be chemical equivalent. And two formulations means two formulations of one generic name and two brand names of the same drug. If they obtain the same therapeutic levels in the body, they will be biologically equivalent. Means they will be bioequivalent if they yield the same blood levels, as therapeutic levels in the body are same, they produce the same response in the body, that will be biological equivalent. So bioequivalence is two drugs that are pharmaceutically equivalent, means active ingredients are equivalent, instant dosage and route of administration. Means pharmaceutical equivalent means these are uh, chemical ingredient is same, the strength of a chemical ingredient is almost identical, dosage form is almost identical, and route of administration is almost identical. Two drug products are said to be bioequivalent when the rate and extent of bioavailability of their active ingredients are not different under suitable test conditions. Means they are known as bioequivalent if they have the bioavailability of almost plus minus 25% or 20%. Means if the bioavailability of drug A of the one brand name is 80%, so or 100%, the bioavailability of the drug B of the brand name should be between 80 to 120%, then only that will be bioequivalent. So they are having they produce the same therapeutic response and they produce the same plasma levels in the body. Therapeutic response is similar, chemical entity is similar, chemical ingredient is similar, same dosage form, same route of administration, and strength is similar. So they will be bioequivalent. For every two market formulations of the same active drug, bioavailability will be definitely different. With two formulations, the bioavailability will be different, but how much is it different? How much it is identical to each other? Plus minus 20%. If it is, then it will be said to be bioequivalent. The difference may not be clinically significant. The difference should not be clinically significant, means it should not be more than 20%. Now, this is in the case of the anti-epileptic drugs like phenytoin, which is having Delantoin and Eptoin as the two branded products. They act in specific concentration range and affect the vital functions. If we change a brand, different bioavailability. Means we change the brand, means one person, there's a person who's using the one drug like Delantoin for a period of 3 to 4 months, and suddenly his medicines they get out of stock, so then he changes to Eptoin. So when he changes to Eptoin, then there's a the therapeutic response will not be similar, there will be less therapeutic response, so person may suffer seizures or convulsions. So this different bioavailability will be there. So as far as possible, avoid changing brands in such cases. Altered therapeutic effect will be there. Drugs like anticoagulants and antiepileptics like phenytoins, these are having the different bioavailability. So these bioequivalence is not seen in these cases. Thank you. That's all for bioavailability. I hope you understood my lecture. If you understood my lecture, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, that is Dr. Nitikan's pharmacology discussion. Thank you. Stay happy. Happy learning. Be blessed. Stay healthy. Thank you.